This is the world we live in. Knox County has a current population of over 450,000 people, 186,000 of whom live within the city limits of Knoxville. Based upon research conducted in 2016, 19% of those Knox County residents identified themselves as active Christians, defined as those who attend a church that identifies itself as Christian. That means that 80% of our county self-identifies as nones, people having no religious affiliation, or as dones, people who are fed up with the church and are leaving it with no intention of returning. An estimated 360,000 people are not actively connected to Christ and His church. 15% of Knox County residents live at the poverty level or below. That percentage jumps to 26% inside the city limits, with 1 out of every 4 children having an insufficient food supply on a daily basis. Research shows that if the current trend continues, 9 out of 10 Tennessee children will grow to adulthood and have no relationship with Jesus Christ. The world we live in is more diverse than ever before. Knox County is home to over 35,000 internationals from over 120 different nations, with over 90 languages spoken in Knox County schools. People from all over the world are making their home in Knoxville, adding to the cultural and religious landscape. The University of Tennessee alone has almost 1,500 students from 92 different countries. In colleges across Knox County, including the University of Tennessee with almost 30,000 students, 75% of students previously involved in a church will no longer be actively connected by the time they graduate. The world we live in is not immune from tragedy. Natural disasters strike people from all walks of life, leaving them vulnerable at the deepest points of physical, emotional, and spiritual need. Knox County Baptists exemplify what it means to be Ecclesia Missio Dei, the church on God's mission. Our KCAB network of 156 churches is positioned more than any other group or network to meet these challenges in Knox County. Churches across our network faithfully live out the gospel in tangible ways that make a difference in our world today. This past year, Knox County Baptist reached out to the underserved in our city through the Western Heights Baptist Center and the Montgomery Village Baptist Center. These 2 ministry centers are strategically located in communities with the highest poverty and crime rates across Knox County. Over 500 volunteers from 55 partner churches lived out God's mission by providing over 34,000 food supplies and hot meals, over 80,000 articles of clothing and household items, and conducted 5 medical and dental clinics. On a daily basis, 125 children and youth are engaged in after-school programs, and 26 weekly Bible studies offered over 1,000 teaching opportunities and gospel presentations, resulting in 30 people being connected to Christ in a personal relationship. Reaching the next generation with the gospel remains an important focus of Knox County Baptists. This year at Camp Bioka, over 4,450 people experienced a Christ-centered summer camp or retreat experience. Through these camps and retreats, 53 people became followers of Jesus Christ, with over 85 other decisions to renew their commitment as a Christ follower. Again this summer, Camp Bioka hosted students from South Korea, sharing Christ with them and discipling them in their faith as they prepare to return to South Korea with the gospel message. The focus on internationals does not stop at Camp Bioka. Throughout this past year, Nations and Neighbors has connected almost 200 people in a prayer focus for the nations, organizing prayer groups among local churches and distributing over 1,000 prayer guides for spiritual awakening. Strategically, almost 1/3 of KCAB churches have received demographic studies and training in mapping their communities to identify international communities and other pockets of lostness in Knox County. Responding to people in times of crisis is at the core of disaster relief ministries across our network of churches. This past year alone, over 1,000 volunteers from Knox County churches responded to 6 natural disasters, 25 emergency calls, and collected and mobilized 3 tractor-trailer trucks and 4 box trucks of emergency supplies for disaster victims. Within the KCAB network, over 35 church leaders are connected in learning communities designed for pastors, church planners, and second chair leadership. Currently, 30 churches are engaged in a church revitalization process designed to move the local church toward a more sustainable model of church health. This past year, Project Knox and City Reach hosted 19 mission teams and mobilized over 400 volunteers to partner with 30 KCAB churches to be on mission in their local community. The world we live in presents significant challenges for the church today. That is why we must remain focused on building a network of churches living out God's mission to connect people with Christ and His church. When we look at the world we live in, we envision a day when every KCAB church is living out the grace of the gospel and sharing the gospel of grace. It's not that God has a mission for His church in the world, but that God has a church for His mission in the world. In the world we live in today, now more than ever, it's time to live it out.